Good morning everyone, and welcome to Welcome Grove Homestead. This video is a little bit of a challenge for us on a personal level. So the events happened prior to the storm actually, but just between the storm and logistics afterward, and then David and I just got a cold, so we've been fighting through that. So I've kind of been putting off doing this video as long as I could, but I really feel that it's time. So we're gonna just rip the band-aid off. We lost Betsy. Those of you who don't know who Betsy is or was, Betsy was our very first goat. We got Betsy and Jane together as babies. They were our first goats, but Betsy was the one that I saw her picture as a baby on the breeder's website, and I had to have her. So it was a really, really hard blow for us here on the farm. To lose her, it was sudden and unexpected. But we are very glad that we have Molly, who is Betsy's 2-year-old daughter, and that we retained Star, her daughter from this year. We are very glad that we have those two does to remember her by, to continue her legacy, and she is deeply, deeply missed. Audrey ran and got Star. Star is Betsy's daughter that was born in March of this year, so she's doing really well. She was basically already weaned when Betsy passed, so she's been not unaffected. She still looked for her, but it hasn't been as traumatizing as if she was dependent on that milk. So we are really glad that we have her this year.
Cookie. Ooh,
Yeah.
yummy.
Alright, go put her away. We gotta finish milking. And Betsy is often credited with being the goat that started it all. If we had not gotten into goats, I really don't know that we would be here on our big farm today. I mean, goats are definitely a gateway animal as far as like needing a farm. So yeah, Betsy is the catalyst, I'll say. She's the goat that started it all. And when she passed away, we all knew that without her, we never would have been here, and we are very thankful to Betsy for the life that she lived and for the years that she gave us and the lessons learned and the precious babies, like all the things that she contributed over her 7 years of life. So she is greatly missed, and she is also greatly appreciated. Now, as far as what happened, short answer is I don't know. The immediate cause of death for Betsy was bloat, but we don't know what happened that caused her to bloat. And we did everything. I mean, absolutely everything. I did not perform a necropsy, which is an animal autopsy. I just emotionally was not able to do that with Betsy. And there's also just a level of, I didn't want to know, if that makes sense. Like, many cases I want to know if there's something I could have done differently, or if there was something I could have done to change the outcome. But with Betsy, it was so emotionally charged. I didn't want to know. I would rather just believe that I did absolutely everything in my power, and just would rather not know if I could have done something different, because it meant that I could have done it and I didn't do it. So we decided to bury Betsy, and she is buried here on the property. It was very traumatic, but it was also it was the way I would have wanted her to go. Not necessarily the method. I didn't want her to die of bloat. It was a really nice opportunity for our family to say goodbye. She was in the house with a luxury suite in our den. Audrey was cuddling with her. David was playing worship songs on his guitar. Like, everyone was just gathered around her. And we all got to say goodbye to her. And it was, like I said, it was very emotional. But I don't know that I would have wanted it another way. Like, she didn't die alone in the barn. She died surrounded by her family. Which is all we can really hope for. Especially for such a beloved and important animal. Right now, in the interest of transparency, I am going to share something that I am not proud of. Since Betsy's death, there has been a profound sense of relief. I don't feel good about it, but Betsy struggled with her health really ever since we moved her across the country. And she struggled with parasites. She just kind of was up and down about being dumpy. She wouldn't eat. So having a high maintenance goat that leaves the herd in one way or another does provide relief, because it was less having to watch her every minute of every day. It comes with a lot of guilt to feel relief after such a beloved animal dies. But I want people out there to know that if something similar happens, if you have an animal that has just chronically had problems, it's okay to be relieved when they finally pass away. It doesn't feel great. I mean, I still miss her, I still mourn her, but I don't miss the worrying about her, if that makes sense. So she is definitely still missed. Her presence, or lack thereof, is definitely felt in the herd. And right now it's crazy because it's breeding season, but actually right after it happened, Jane, her half-sister, who has lived with her her entire life, Jane was mourning. She attached herself to Bindi, our guardian dog, and would not leave that dog's side for about a week. I'm not sure why Bindi was what gave her comfort, but it was. She just would not leave that dog alone. After about a week, she calmed down, and she's doing, I mean, animals are very resilient, so she's acting normal now. But so I don't want this whole video to just be about death and sadness. So I thought that a good way to kind of wrap up this video is to talk about our breeding plans, because we are in the middle of breeding season now. Actually, we we decided that we wanted to go for earlier kidding next season, so we started our breeding season on October 2nd. And let me tell you, it's been quite a whirlwind. So in the pen here behind me, we have Sousa, who is our new young buckling that we recently got to be a new herd sire. He is polled, which means that he is naturally hornless, and he is also moon spotted, which is kind of more of a perk than anything because it is just a desirable color trait. It does not have any bearing on milk production or anything like that. So we are excited to be pairing him with Jane, who is over there with her foot in the bucket, and her daughter, where's Arwen? There she is. And I believe this guy has already bred them both. We know that he bred Jane because she kicked us off with breeding season. She was in heat on October 2nd, and I wasn't sure if he could get the job done. After a lot of effort and a little help, he managed to get the job done. So we are waiting to find out if she is pregnant. So Sousa bred Jane, and we did not witness him breed Arwen, but there was evidence that breeding might have happened when we were milking her. So I wrote down that date, and we are basically just waiting to see if they're pregnant. And if they are, then great, and he gets to be a papa as a young guy. And if they do not take this time around, he really is just barely reaching. So I think that if he did not successfully get them bred this first time around, I'll probably give him his shot next year and put Rocket in with them. And the main reason for that would be just to not have too much of a gap in our kidding season. I really like having all the kids be a similar age. It really helps with general management. So if they start getting spaced too far out, then it's just kind of more work on me, which some people, they like to spread them all out, and more power to them. But it just makes things a little easier if all of the management, like for example doing CDT shots or something, when babies are closely clustered together age-wise, you can kind of just set a single day and do everybody. Instead, if they're all spread out, they hit the age marker for when they should be given their first vaccine, and you just have to stagger it, and it becomes more work instead of doing a single day. All right, the next breeding group is Rockets. Hello, handsome. You stinky. So, Rocket is breeding Molly, who is Betsy's daughter. She, I think, is the only doe that hasn't yet been bred. And who knows, I may have missed it, but I don't think I did. So, we are watching her for heat. I think that maybe what happened is that she might have cycled right before we started. So we're just waiting for her to cycle again. But okay, so here are Rocket's ladies. We've got Kitty. She is our French Alpine. We've got Molly. And then that's Vanessa, who is our American Alpine. So, and this week Rocket actually bred both of the Alpines. He did need a little help to get the job done with Vanessa because she is quite a tall lady. But Kitty, he was able to breed just fine on his own, just like last year. And then we're just waiting to see when Molly comes into heat. Now the crazy thing about this is that it seems that the does were fairly synchronized. I mean, they're not all on the same day, but their heat cycles were really tightly clustered together, because today is October 11th, and I think I only have one doe left to breed. So it's going to make for a pretty tight kidding season, which I'm okay with. It's just going to be a lot of management here right at the end of their pregnancies. But okay, our last breeding group is up here with Caleb the goat. Now we've got Caleb and John over here. He's our weather, so he's pretty much just hanging out. Nestle was bred. Oh my gosh, we really hope that she took, because I have not had any babies out of her since we got her. So if she gets pregnant, that would be amazing. Mayhem, we did not witness breed, but again, she had evidence there. She was really crusty and gross. And Maggie, we just saw him breed her the other day. Clover is the one outlier that I'm not sure about. Now the reason I'm not sure about Clover is because there was a day that he was chasing her around. We didn't see him breed her, but he doesn't really just chase the does around for fun. So, not sure if she was or wasn't bred. Again, he's living up here with them, so if she comes into heat, he will breed her. So she's like the one that I'm not sure about. And Molly, I'm pretty sure, has not cycled. So that's all the does we're breeding this year. And then our doelings, unfortunately, have to live in the kennel for the duration of breeding season, just because there's no safe place to put them where a buck doesn't have access to them. So it's not ideal, but they have hay, they have water, they have pellets, and we try to let them out and have fun every once in a while when we can, like, lock up bucks and stuff like that. But it's just how it is. It's a short period of time, and then they'll be right back out. Okay. Now, our keeper doelings this year. Hi, we've got Amy. She is Maggie's daughter. Thank you, Joe. There's Joe, who is Jane's daughter from this year. Susan, who is Arwen's daughter from this year. And Star, who is Betsy's daughter. They are very friendly, and it's very difficult to be in here with a camera because they're very curious and they want to nibble it and lick it and do all the things. So we don't do just a ton of footage with them up close because of that risk to the camera. But they're here, they're making trouble, and they're all doing really good. They're growing really well, they're really healthy. So they are due for hoof trims, so I'll be doing that really soon. But I've been watching their growth, and I'm really, really happy with their growth rate. Like, I feel like Star right here might be the best growing doe that Betsy actually ever produced. So I'm feeling really good about her. I still don't think that she'll be ready to breed until after she's a year old, but she's definitely doing really good. So the current age of these doelings is actually, let's see, Star was born in March and it's October now, so that's 7 months. And then all of the other doelings were born in April, so they're about 6 months old. So that is our current breeding plan as far as all of our does this year. We are definitely missing Betsy, but I mean, life has to continue on the farm. So the best we can do is honor her memory and keep her daughters and continue her legacy. And we are forever grateful to the goat that started it all here at Welcome Grove Homestead. Thank you, Nestle. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, this is your country nerd with a goat herd. Saying that you can grow where you're planted.